G'day and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching. This video is all about the Crosby Garrett goods shed. In fact, I'm breaking the video up into three. The first part is this one is going to be focused on the construction of the goods shed. The second part is going to be about the detailing, the brickwork, the little really small bits and pieces, the stairs to the office, etc. And then the third part will be the final painting of the product of the goods shed and the weathering, plus the finer micro details, windows, doors, etc. So we're going to jump straight into this and go straight to the cutting of the polystyrene walls for the building. So while I was measuring and putting all the outlines for the windows for the main part of the goods shed, I realized I'm going to need actually a landing platform within the shed. So I've just cut out all the parts for that. That's actually going to give me a nice foundation to build the building around once we get to the building stage. So here we have the inside platform. Been constructed the same way as the platforms. As you can see, there's a little lip here. It's about a mil, maybe a mil, 2 mil. I'll be putting some Slater's plasticard brick across the front here because that bit will be able to be seen if you look inside from the track side. So I'm going to make a detail, and then the cutout here is where the center doors will be open. So again, I'll be putting Slater's plasticard in there to finish that off, but otherwise that's the platform structure complete. So we're slowly making progress with the model. There's been a couple of tricky things that I've been working out as I've been going along, and one thing I'm currently contemplating is how I do the Slater's plasticard. Do I mount it directly behind, or do I cut an in piece to put it in there? Depending on the depth that I want to get. I haven't made up my mind yet. Another issue that I've come across is the model itself will be about 26 centimeters in length. So when I actually put that down onto the track, 26 comes to here, which is a bit of a problem. What I had to do with the layout is had to kind of condense it a little bit. These points should have been further down here, with this siding being a lot longer, but because we had the join on the board and then I had to get the sweep around the back, I've put it like this. So what I thought of last night is I'm probably going to, instead of having the extended part of the building on the right hand side, I'm going to shift it to the left hand side because I've got more space there. So that's going to actually fit a lot better. So basically this building, this extension, I'm going to put on this side instead. And yeah, this door is going to actually come pretty close when you put the model on to the line. It comes pretty close to the line, but you know, I'm going to fill all this in, and it's going to be like a road surface on all the way along here. So you could have had vehicles driving over it, and it should be fine. So we're progressing this slowly. I'll put the first Slater's plasticard on one of the ends. As you can see, I have it overlapping here and here because the building sides slot in down here, because this is slightly thinner than the actual measurement. So what I did is I didn't make it quite perfect, so I could then trim coming through from the back to ensure I get the right size. hole. So 2 ends done. So we've got the sides or the ends tacked on, as you can see, just to hold this all into place. So I'm just doing the back side of the goods shed. What I've done is I've cut out 3 squares that basically are going to cover up the center sections, because they're infilled, as we can see. And now what I have is the wall to go on the front. So I'm going to stick this onto this wall, and once that's stuck on, I'm then going to cut out from the back the holes, and that's basically then going to have that bit prepped. We can then move on to doing the windows in the center of these bits, and to give depth for those bits, we're going to have to put additional polystyrene at the back. Again, probably I'll cut out the same shape, and then we can cut those out, and that way the windows are going to be the same depth as these windows, and they're going to be consistent all the way along. So yeah, that's the next phase. So we've glued on the fascia, and I've cut out the doors and windows for the front part. And now we've got to do the infill, because the infills have a window as well, and then they also have the brick fascia. So what I've done is I've basically I've got to keep the windows clear, because I've got to put some clear perspex on those ones. So I've basically just cut this. What this will also do will give me some lines to put the center supports in, right up against the edges here, and that way I don't actually have to trim those down, which is good. And then once I've cut through these, I'll glue on some fascias, and then they all get sandwiched in between here and here. And that's pretty much, once that's done, that's this side complete in terms of the main structure. Right, we are making progress. As you can see, it's slowly coming together. Now this does include the two side bits are temporary glued, but otherwise it's still in bits. I focused on getting all the walls that are fairly easy to be done, and left the worst one to last. Bit of procrastination there, I'm sure everyone does it. So all that's left now for this one is all the windows to be cut out, and then it to be a Slater plastic card stuck on, and the windows then cut out, and that's that, then pretty much done. The back side though, we just completed, as you can see. So what I did, I probably talked earlier, I think I talked earlier about how deep I wanted these. I decided that I actually wanted to place the brick on top of another 1mm piece of polystyrene and sandwich it all in. So you might be able to see that basically there's a Slater's plastic card, 1mm of polystyrene, Slater's plastic card, 1mm of polystyrene, and that's how thick this is. So in fact it's thick enough, as long as you get it in the right position, to stand on its own, like so, which is cool. One thing I learned from the previous model, the waiting room, is when doing the corners, you've got to plan for overlapping of joins and everything, so that's been taken into a big consideration. So right here we actually have a 1mm thickness, which slots up to the corner here and locks in really quite nice. And then this face here overlaps by 1mm as well, and that way when you bring the two together, it sits nice and flush. Now on my waiting room that actually doesn't happen. I mean, you wouldn't notice it if you look closely, but we're gonna have a really nice corner here, which is great. But what I'm gonna do is I will do what I did on the waiting room, is put all individual pieces of plastic card to represent the stone corners. That's still to do. That's going to be a fun process, as there's a lot of that on this building. But we are getting to the stage where hopefully tomorrow I'll finish this. So as you can see, I've just cut out the first two windows, but they actually look pretty terrible. But that's not to worry about. I just need to basically tidy it up, and it'll look a lot better. Plus, if you do make a mistake, you're putting the brick fascia on, and with that you can hide any big errors. Yeah, once I just tidy these up, they'll look a lot better. And I tidy it up really with the point of the knife, and just slowly carve away, trimming down anything, tidying up the edges, particularly getting right into the corners, the 90-degree corners. At the bottom, and at the top, once I've trimmed and I'm happy with how I've trimmed it, I have a small file to just run through and just ensure the curve is exactly how I want it. You're literally just shaving off tiny amounts to okay, as you can see, that's much tidier. But once we put the brick fascia on, we can tidy it up even more. Okay, so here we have it. All the windows are now cut out for the front, as you can see. So the next stage is to glue on the brick fascia, and then flip it over and trim all that out, and that will be pretty much set up then, ready for the next stage. So glue's now dried, and we're going to trim out all these edges and windows. So we've finished off the front. This is the back, as you've seen. If I turn it around, there is the front of it. So while these other bits are drying, I mean, they're pretty much dry now, I'm just going to put I've just taped off the edges of the platform, and going to do the acrylic asphalt again on top. Okay, we'll let that dry, and we'll come back to it and do the rest of the painting. So we've put it all together. I haven't glued it, I've just put everything in the position, and just checking finally anything else that I may want to do, but I don't think there is. As you can see, I've painted the platform that's inside of it. There's a white line that runs down the edge. There's a safety line. Not sure if that was actually there, but it's something I've done. The platform edge is also been all painted. Anyway, that's all painted in there as well. we've got the bottom of the doors here that need to be finished off. I'll finish them off. I'm going to leave the platform so it's not actually glued in just yet, just in case I want to change the interior color, but at the minute I'm actually happy with the black. And yeah, so I think we're ready to glue together, and then we can start cutting all the individual corner bricks out and start gluing those on. Right, so we're going to leave that to dry a little bit. All the structures now sticking, shouldn't take too long. And this is the indoor platform. As I said, I've left it loose. I've marked where the doors go either side, because as per the plans, doors don't come all the way down onto the two of the doors. So what I'm going to do is cut some polystyrene to make this frame up and stick those on the platform. So I've put the wooden bar, well, it's polystyrene, but the wooden bump bar here. And based upon the drawing, there's 3 supports underneath. So this is 1 by 1, and the next buns are 1.5 by 1.5. So it should sit there, which is good. Like that. And then we can paint and do the detail on it. It looks like the top beam in the image has 3 bolts coming through. So when we do the painting, unfortunately can't do that small, so I just have to put a little dot. And that should be a nice little detail on the building. While we wait for, I've got a new cutting tool coming and some more polystyrene strips, just different dimensions that I need to do all the brickwork around the doors and the corners, etc. What I've done is just painted the protection buffers for the loading bay here, added one inside, hopefully you can see that. And done this side. Now I'm torn at the minute about putting some brick slated plastic card in between the two bits at the bottom, or just leave it as is. We'll see when I come to it. So what we're going to get on with today is the side building. It's going to go on the side there, this bit. So let's get on with it. So got them 3 sides marked out, and now I just need to cut them out and then put the brick slaters plastic card on top, cut that bit out, and yeah, we'll be ready to glue together. Right, so we've now cut the two windows out of each side, and also I've cut the door in there. Now what you can perhaps see is the door slightly ajar. Now I've cut it across the bottom, up the side and across the top, and then I gently sliced down the hinge side and then teased it open. So what I'm going to do is have the door slightly ajar to show some action on the actual set, but had to do this very carefully. Bit of trimming of the door slightly and a bit of filing just to tidy up the edges, but then hopefully we can add a bit of detail to that door as well. But yeah, nice little feature I think of the building. So we've now finished the little building that is going to attach to the side. I haven't painted the inside yet, but there's a chimney to do, but I'll do that when we get to the roof side of things, and there's some steps to make. But other than that, the main construction's done. So as you can see, the main structure is now complete. I still have it so it's separate just in case I need to do any other internal works, etc. What I've also done is I've cut the rooftops now fit snugly inside the roof, so we can actually finish that part of the structure off as well. Well, I'm going to hold off, like I say, just in case there's other bits and pieces that I need to get done. How I did the waiting room was very similar. I created the structure, and then what I did is I cut additional sections that are going to glue on to the roof, and these are the bits that then actually overlap the roof, and these are the ones that I can actually now stick on the roof tiles, which is a fun process. So now that I've got 2 sections to stick them on, I'm going to stick on the roof tiles, and that way we're going to start to see the shape and look of the building even more. So get on with that. These roof tiles are from York Models. Link is in the bottom. They were really helpful on a couple of things. This has been one of them, but also the actual centerpiece that runs down the roof. They actually custom designed a bit for me for the waiting room, and I've got enough printed off to do all the buildings. So yeah, really good. Check them out if you're needing any laser cut material. Before I get started with sticking on the roof tiles, I'm going to paint around the edges, make sure it's all black, just in case any light can shine through these tiles, because you can see there is a gap in them. I don't expect much light to come through, and particularly we are going to paint them anyway, but this is just to make sure. Just going to put this to one side so it can dry off quickly. While I do that, I'm going to get cutting out the sheet of tiles. So yeah, basically they come in strips. They've got 3M sticky sides on the back, and yeah, they're fairly straightforward to do. Just peel it off, lay it down, and gently stick it on. Unfortunately, as you can see, there's a little thing, and then what you then can do is overlap them, so you overlap the joints and everything, and yeah, it gives a really good effect. I highly recommend having a look and checking these out. Now, right at the ends, I'm trying to get it so it does slip over a little bit on the actual edge of the roof. But once we're on there, we're actually going to put some lead. So we're going to put a piece of thin polystyrene up here to represent the lead edge, and that really just tidies up all the edge. So we'll get on with it and show you what it's like once it's done. So there we have it. It took 19 full strips and a couple. There you go. That's what it looks like. One roof. Okay, so you might see there is still a slight black line there, but that's not to worry about that, as when we come to put it on the top, we'll be putting the ridge cap in, and then there's another line that goes just down the side of the ridge cap. So there we have it. It's a rough look at what it would look like. Thanks for watching right to the end. I hope you enjoyed watching the construction of the goods shed. I hope there was some little tips and hints that you can take away from it, and have enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It would be great to have you viewing again, and I look forward to the second part of the video, showing you the finer details of the good shed. Have a great day.
If you would like to continue to see the progress of the model, be sure to subscribe to my channel and like the video. I'll see you next time.